I don't have the money for this watch. I don't have 80 grand to pay for this watch, but I knew it was such a good deal. I have a story about a really great watch find. It was actually the first deal that kind of pushed me over to the edge to where I could say, okay, I guess I'm a watch dealer now, because I was kind of on the periphery of the watch dealer world for a couple of years, just, kind of casually buying and selling. But I was on Facebook Marketplace, or I was on a Facebook group, and someone posted a picture of a watch that supposedly Patek Philippe Nautilus reference 3700 in gold. And a guy posts this link and says, I run a small jewelry shop, like a strip mall jewelry shop, and some old guy just brought this watch in because he wanted me to polish it. I had a feeling I shouldn't polish it. So does anybody know, like, what is this? Is this real? Like, what should I tell this guy? I'm looking at it. I'm like, this is definitely real. All the comments are saying it's fake. Maybe it's real, but it's the woman's size. There's no frame of reference in the photos. It's completely out of proportion. It's just the watch. You can't tell. It's not on a wrist. It's just like a photo of a watch sitting on a table. You can't tell how big it is. I'm like, I think this is the 3700. I think this is the most desirable version of this watch that exists. And this guy is like, someone just walked in to have this thing polished. So I send the guy a message. I'm saying, hey, what's the story here? What's this guy doing with his watch? He says, the guy brought it in because he's selling it to a friend tomorrow for 70 grand. I said, okay, 70 grand. That's not nothing. He knows a little bit about this at least. He knows it's worth at least that much. He knows, about Patek Philippe at least a little bit to know this is at least a $70,000 watch. So I said, do you think you'd be able to maybe turn this deal around? Let me get my hands on this watch. I'll pay him a little more, and I'll give you $5,000 for putting it all together. He said, let me get back to you. 5 minutes later, he said, okay, yeah, we can do that. I said, that's it? He said, yeah, but you have to come here and do it. He's like an old guy. He's not just going to ship it off to you, sight unseen. He's going to need the money in his account. I said, so where are you located? He told me where he's located. It was a flight away. So it was like 7 at night. I had to book a flight for 6 a.m. the next morning. I go to book the flight. I'm like, let me double check here. I go back to the guy. I said, just so you know, I'm about to click purchase on this flight. Are we good on this deal? 100%. Meanwhile, we're only talking through Facebook Messenger. He says, yes, book it. So I booked the flight. I don't have the money for this watch. I don't have 80 grand to pay for this watch, but I knew it was such a good deal. I wasn't even a real watch dealer. Some may say I'm still not, but I made one call, described the situation, sent the photos, and the person on the other line said, okay, I'll wire the money and we'll partner on this watch. Go get it. So I went to get it. I flew the next day. I land, I meet the guy. The watch is real. It's so fully linked, I probably could have slipped it right off my wrist. That's how fully linked this watch was, which is good because those links are expensive and not easy to find. So the guy hands me the watch. Now I have to wait for the wire to send. I have to hang out there basically all day until this wire clears. So I hung out with this gentleman all day. We went to the casino. We had lunch. And then finally, at the end of the day, we go to his bank. It looks like an old barn converted into like a Chase Bank. We go in, everyone who works there knew him by name, and they almost certainly thought he was like being frauded by some younger guy who's, as you were walking in together saying, hey, did the $80,000 just hit my account? And they looked and they said, yeah, it did. It's clear. So here you go. Here's the watch. So I took the watch. Obviously, it's a very desirable watch. Sold it like quite easily, made like a nice profit with 2 other partners. That was basically the story of me doing my first watch deal, with starting with basically no money, just having a little bit of knowledge and the foresight to see something that was potentially a really good deal.